Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 things that shocked me when I moved to Europe. But before we go into that, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet. Please share the content and let's have a chat in the comment section. So if you're from the Caribbean, you might be able to relate to this first shock that I got when I came here. When I came here first, we came in the summer, so we did a lot of swimming. And to my surprise, it was normal for men to wear speedos. And also in the swimming areas, it was also normal that there's a nude area. For me, that's mind-blowing because as a Caribbean person, let me be more specific, as a Jamaican, when we go to the beach, we're wearing long tights or we're at least a shorts to the knee. We're wearing t-shirt or we're wearing something called a vest or a marina. We are not usually exposing ourselves so much. So for me, that was shocking. I was shy and curiosity peeked in. And so I would deliberately go to the nudity part and peep. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. But for us in the Caribbean, it's not normal to see, you know, so much skin, so much nudity, or men wearing speedos. Our men in the Caribbean wear shorts. It's at the knee or lower. So for me, that was a shock. And here it's completely normal to do this. Number 2 is parenting experience. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but like a European or an American says, I don't want children, or I've never had children and I don't think I want them. When I've heard that in the past, I just could not understand why someone would not want to have children. But coming here and living here and seeing or experiencing how they parent here, I can understand why someone would say they do not want to have children. It is so in the Caribbean, but it's in a different way. You have your support system. I remember when I had David, I could sleep at nights because my mom would help me with him in the nighttime if he cries. Or I could have gone back to school because my mom helped. And it's somewhat like in the Caribbean, you feel like as a parent, you have to help your child with the children. You know what I mean? But here, it's not like that. The grandma could be living next door, the grandma or grandpa, and you have to make an appointment when the children go to the grandparents, and it's probably once a week. They will take them for a few hours, they go with them probably to the park, or take them somewhere, spend money on them, and then they bring them back home to you. Apart from that, the school system is very rigid. There are extra curriculum that the kids have to do, and you have to bring them, and there's no leaving the child home and the neighbor will give an eye. There's nothing like that. You will go to jail. You have to be there for your child, and the society expects you to be there. The neighborhood expects you to be there. So it's quite often that you'll find, and listen here, I'm generalizing now, so it's not like this in every case. In many families, you'll find that the mother stays home and the dad goes to work because the mom cares for the children and the dad goes out and work. And it's vice versa. It could be that the mom goes to work and the father stays home. It depends on who has a career that pays better. If you think you can financially afford it, you make a plan and you execute. But there's nothing like just being knocked up, because if you just get knocked up and you really cannot afford it, then it will be stressful financially and emotionally. All right, my number 3 shock that I got when I came here is the church system. So when I first came here, I only knew 2 churches in my community. So that's the Evangelic Church and the Catholic Church. Okay, later on I got to find out that there are other churches, but they're not called churches because they're not supported financially by the state. The state only financially support the Catholic and the Evangelic Church. Going to church, staying for a few hours was also a shock for me, like 2 hours, because you know, I'm from the Caribbean. Churches every Sunday morning, every Sunday evening. We have choir practice, we have youth meeting, we have, like, every day we have church. And here, church is only Sunday, and like if you're really into the church, then you might go, I don't know, for some Bible study or something. But the system, the church system, was a shock for me. Another shock, since we're talking about institution, another shock for me was the school system. It's completely different from what we have in Jamaica, or I can say in the English speaking world. It's complicated. I've been here 6 years. My son is in school and I still do not understand it fully. Children here goes to school at 6. Before that, they go to kindergarten, which is not compulsory. You don't have to send your children to kindergarten, which is what we would call like a basic school. So at 6, they go to school and they have the Unterstufe, Oberstufe. So the Unterstufe would be like from grade 1 to grade 3 in the primary school. And then from grade 4 to grade 6 is the Oberstufe. And then grade 7 would be the secondary school. But they don't do an examination to go to secondary school. Everybody goes to secondary school, but there is like a level. You have different levels in the secondary school by subjects. So the core subjects are maths, English, French, and German in the canton that we live, in the state that we live. In other states, it's different. And the class that you go in depends on your level that you're at in the different subject. If you're ever moving to Europe, find out about the school system if you're coming with children, I would advise. I don't know, but for some reason I didn't think that the weather would be a problem for me. I knew there was snow and I knew there was summer. But when I came here and had to deal with clothes during different seasons, that was very hard for me. That I had to think about what the weather is like before I go outside. You know, I have to think about what the weather is like tomorrow so I can organize my clothes, what I'm going to wear for the day. David himself also had a hard time with adjusting with the whole change of clothes in wintertime and springtime. And he didn't want to wear the tams. He didn't want to wear the scarves. Now he's okay. Now he has adjusted. The last shock, number 5, is language barrier. So, of course, I knew there was a language barrier and I knew that I was not going to understand people by speech. But I did not know that language barrier, it doesn't mean only words, that you won't understand words or sentences. It means you don't understand the people at all. The language, the word that you speak, the body language, everything is different from how we would behave back home. When I explained this to Hanoi, he told me something that made sense. He said, the way you speak is the way you feel. And it is so true. If you think about it, if you're a Jamaican and you're listening to this, you know our humor, our patois humor is completely different from English humor. And sometimes we give a joke in English, like standard English, to an American or to a British person, but they don't get it because that's very specific to Jamaican patois, how we say a joke or how we react body-wise and stuff. And it's the same with the German world, with the Swiss and the German and the Austrian. They behave differently. Not only with the words are also different, but their body language, their whole demeanor is completely different than to what I was used to. So in the beginning, I saw people, but I just saw people moving around. I couldn't read what they are saying. I couldn't understand what they're saying. I couldn't read their body language. I didn't know what was going on. So, you know, just imagine that someone is shoving you off and you don't really know that they're shoving you off. Or someone is ignoring you, but you don't really know. Or someone really wants to talk to you, but you don't really know that they want to talk to you. And it took me a while. I'll give you a scenario. What I've noticed that, you know, when you stop and have a conversation with someone, they really want to have a conversation. It's not pretend. They really want to have a conversation with you. And there are oftentimes silent patches within that conversation. It doesn't mean that the conversation has stopped. It doesn't mean that they're ready to go. It's just normal. So you say something and it's normal to stop talking and they think. Like, I don't know what but for me that's always awkward because I'm like, what do I do? Should I say bye? Should I go? It's always so awkward. But now that I know that this is normal, I stop with someone and we are talking and there's a silent patch, I know that it doesn't mean that the conversation has ended. It's just they're thinking, probably processing what you have said, or, you know, to me, it's more meaningful than we're just blabbing. Nobody's really invested in the conversation. In this way, you take it in small doses and you process the conversation, and then you continue from there. I think it's a lovely way of communicating. Guys, that's my 5 shockers that I got when I first moved here. These are not my only shockers, but I think these are pretty obvious. They were pretty obvious when I came here that these things are completely different from what I'm used to. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope if you're moving to Switzerland, Germany, in the German world, this will be useful to you. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.